Okay, so city terrain for Warhammer 40,000, Horus Heresy, any miniature war game that requires some kind of cityscape of Gothic style architecture. This is my example of a board I've been working on for a while. So I'll zoom out here a bit. That's what I've been doing for a while. So to start with, you have the mat here, double-sided, GameMat.eu, Frontline Gaming, any of those will do. And you can get creative with the city building, but in terms of actually like playing the game, I found that these games are generally best played with enough terrain that you're not going to have complete line of sight immediately right when the game starts. So if you're really getting down here, you know, you have lots of line of sight blocking, super important. Make sure you're getting that. Now, this is not the best layout necessarily for that. You might want to like zigzag, or even you can do diagonal occasionally here. This mat, this side works great because there's no roads. So you can really set up these buildings in whatever way you want, but making sure you have enough line of sight blocking terrain, I think it's just super important. A lot of times you set up your armies, you know, I set my army, you set your army, and we got this like giant fat no man's land, a couple of pieces of terrain here, maybe a crater or two, and immediately you're rolling the dice. Who gets to go first? Oh, you got to go first. Okay, great game. You know, like whoever's taking the first turn is getting so much shooting in. I'm starting to think, especially after playing games like Zone Mortalis for Horus Heresy, getting the first turn shouldn't matter for the most part. You shouldn't even really be shooting many weapons on turn one. The first turn or two should be mostly about movement, I would say. That tends to make the best games. Now, obviously, depending on whether or not the armies are close combat oriented or long range, it can vary in advantage depending on the army. But if you really want to set up your best possible games, make sure you have enough line of sight blocking. So you really get down here, and you know, from this position, I can't see half the table from here. You know, my units aren't seeing all across. Even maybe trying to play with bottom floor of ruin, completely line of sight blocking despite the windows, might be a good way to go as well. I just really don't want to end up with a game where you go first, you blast me off the table, game over. You know, like, let's not do that first turn stuff. So what do you think about this? Let me know down below, and we'll see you in the next one.